If you're a woman over 40 and you're constantly battling with low energy, brain fog, or feeling like you're just off, you're not lazy, you're not broken, and it's not your fault.
The truth is, your hormones are out of sync, and no one ever taught you how to fix them.
Worse, you've been fed conflicting advice from doctors and influencers.
So in this video, I'm breaking down the real, evidence-based blueprint
to rebalance your hormones, reignite your energy, restore your libido, sleep, and reclaim the mental clarity you used to have. Because the most important thing you can do to yourself, your family, and your career and your future is to feel like the best version of yourself right now.
I will also break down why many top medical professors and doctors, including Peter Attia, call ignoring and misdiagnosing bioidentical hormone for female the biggest mistakes that the medical field has created.
This is a very important topic. It's also probably, let me think. I just want to make sure I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this. Yep, I don't think I am. It's hands down the biggest screw up of the entire medical field in the last 25 years.
So if you're tired of believing synthetic pharmaceutical are your only option, stay with me until the end and discover how to fix your hormones for good. Let's get into it. Now, if you've been dealing with low energy or brain fog, gaining weight, mood swings, hot flashes, hair loss, low libido, bad sleep, chances are you have heard this before. Just deal with it. It's just part of getting older. But let me ask you something. Is fine really what you're going to settle for? Because here's the truth. Feeling fine has been normalized. But what should be normal over the age of 40 is that you have an unstoppable amount of energy, high libido, high strength, a fit body, a strong mind, and healthy energy, deep sleep, a joyful mood, all without stimulants or without synthetic drugs and without nasty side effects. How? Very simple. Combining Mother Earth natural therapies with medical evidence-based science. It's not or, it's and it's a very powerful marriage. 21st century problems need 21st century solutions.
You might ask yourself, but Noah, if this is possible, if this is true, then why did my doctor never tell me about this? Let's unpack the truth that no one is talking about. You see, in 2002, the US government launched a $1.2 billion women health initiative, the largest hormone study ever conducted on women. And it was meant to prove the safety of hormone therapy for women. What they concluded is that hormone therapy raises the risk of heart disease, endometrial cancer, and breast cancer. How come? They didn't actually test the hormones your body makes. They gave women Premarin, an estrogen extracted from pregnant horse urine, and Provera, a synthetic progestin that barely resembles natural progesterone. These chemicals have very different structures and effect in the body. When this toxic combination showed an increased risk of breast cancer, endometrial cancer, and cardiovascular risk, the researchers declared that all hormone therapy was dangerous. It's like testing bleach and banning water, right? Even the original scientists admitted their conclusions were wrong, but the damage was done. Doctors became afraid, millions of women were left untreated, and instead of addressing hormone deficiency and the root cause, they were told, tough it out, and handed antidepressants. There are more than 60 randomized controlled trials showing that hormone therapy is safe and beneficial for women. They show either no increased risk or, in some cases, a reduced risks. For example, the French E3N study, which followed over 80,000 women for more than 20 years, found that women using bioidentical estradiol with natural progesterone had a 10% lower breast cancer risk than women who use no hormones at all. The reality is, your own natural estrogen does not cause cancer. In fact, estrogen deficiency itself is linked to higher cancer risk because as hormone decline, the immune system weakens and the body becomes more vulnerable. Also, what was not accurate in the study is that they took women that were already longer than 10 years in menopause. They were already in menopause. And we know that the earlier you start with hormone restoration therapy, the better it is for preventing your decline for your skin, your sleep, your heart, and all other body markers. Combine this with the fact that 17 years is how long it takes on average for new medical science to become common practice. And these are some of the reasons why do you go to your doctor, feel like shit, and he tell you that you're fine. You're within the normal range. For me, for example, my testosterone levels was 572 nanogram per deciliter, which was in the reference reference range. But I still felt off. Our grandfathers in 1950 had an average level of 900 nanogram per deciliter on average. So how did the reference range change and why?
It is extremely important that you understand the reference range and why in our clinic, when we analyze your blood test, we do not work with the same range. How do a lab set the reference range? It's not done by medical study. It's purely statistic. The lab will take what 95% of the people who got tested for a certain panel have and put it as an average. You are left with 5%. 2.5% will be above this average, and this is the upper range you will see on the test, and 2.5% will be below this average, and this is the lower range you will see on your lab test. And if you think about it, who usually go to the lab and get tested? They are not normal people or people who want to optimize their health. There are sick people. So the reference range you see on your lab results is the reference range of sick people. And that's why you don't want to be within the sick range. You want to be optimal.
According to the Harvard Medical School, the doubling time of medical knowledge in 1950 was 50 years, in 1980, 7 years, and in 2010, 3.5 years. In 2026, it's projected to be 0.2 years, just 73 days. Combine that with 18.7 minutes is the average consultation. What are you going to learn about your patient's sleep, lifestyle, nutrition, symptoms, medication, and stress levels just in 18 minutes? Then we have the receptor sensitivity, one of the biggest blind spots in medicine. And here's Dr. Sabla explaining why some medications work for some, but others, they need more or less.
When we talk about optimizing your hormone, it does not only mean bringing the level of hormone up. There is something that conventional doctors tend to forget about, which is receptor sensitivity. How much your receptor is sensitive to the hormone. A small part of the receptor sensitivity is determined genetically. There is a certain genetic combination that makes you more sensitive to the hormone than another person. But a big part of the receptor sensitivity is determined by lifestyle, age, environment, toxin. Age by itself will make your receptor less sensitive to the hormone. Heavy metal, for example, they go, link to the receptor, change the structure of the receptor, and make it less sensitive. And that's why when we talk about optimizing the hormones, it means giving you the hormone and make your receptor more sensitive. An example of receptor sensitivity is what we call thyroid insufficiency. Because when we talk about thyroid, people think it's only about hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. But there's something in between that we call thyroid insufficiency, which means your thyroid gland is secreting normal hormone, but your receptor, because they are not sensitive anymore to the hormone, they're not gonna respond normally. And you're gonna have symptoms of low thyroid, even though your level when you test it are totally normal. So if your doctor is not familiar with what we call receptor sensitivity, he's gonna tell you, you're totally fine, just deal with it.
Combine that with outdated research. The studies that made hormones look dangerous were based on synthetic, not bioidenticals. Now, why they change something into a synthetic molecule? Because you can't patent nature. And if you can't patent it, you can't make money out of it. And to patent it, you have to alter it. You have to change the structure of the molecule. And guess what happens when you change the structure of the molecule? Exactly. Now, if we combine what you have just learned, then you will understand why medical errors are the #1 cause of death in the world. Yes, more people die from medical errors than from all the wars, cancers, diabetes, and heart attacks combined. And thus, why also female hormones are misdiagnosed, mistreated, and completely overlooked. So how do female hormones actually work? As a woman, you have between 8 to 10 billion hormone receptors in your body. Receptors in your brain, in your joints, in your muscles, in your liver, in your gut, in your bones, in your skin, in your heart, in the vessels. Literally for everything you have hormone receptors. They are the on-off switches for all cellular processes. We men are simple creatures. We have only one on-off switch, which is testosterone. Women, it's a whole symphony. It's estrogen, it's progesterone, it's DHEA, it's testosterone, it's thyroid. They all need to be in harmony. Most women don't know this. Within 5 years of perimenopause, you lose 95% of your hormones. That loss alone increases your risk of chronic disease by 50%. We're talking about heart attacks, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer, and Parkinson. And it's starting every decade earlier. In 1950, women used to have their perimenopause in their 50s. Now women enter it in their 40s, and some patients even in their late 30s. You might ask yourself, why? Because of something we call the silent killers, the huge amount of hormone disruptors that your grandmother never had to deal with. You see, by 10 a.m. in the morning, most women already have 168 toxins in their body, from skincare, from showering, from unfiltered water, from sunscreen, from makeup. Your skincare and cosmetics contains parabens, phthalates, and synthetic fragrance that mimic estrogen but block your natural hormone receptors. And your household cleaning products, air fresheners, and even your car's interior contain fake estrogens that are 1,000 times more potent than your natural hormones. Your fish, your meat, your chicken, and eggs are contaminated with pesticides, herbicides, growth hormones, antibiotics, acidic grains, and packaging chemicals that act as endocrine disruptors. Your water contains traces of synthetic hormones from birth control pills and hormone replacement medication that millions of women have processed and peed back into our water systems. Even your stress levels, the chronic cortisol production from modern life, literally steals the building blocks your body needs to make progesterone and other important vital hormones. And with women, it hits it much harder than a man because you're not a small man. You have a different hormonal structure and biological processors.
When I talk about sleep with my patients, I always explain them that it does not only matter the hours of sleep you are getting. What is way more important is when you go to bed. Why? Because of the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is similar to the lymphatic system but is located in the brain. And it helps your brain detox. It helps your brain restore your hormone. It helps your body recover. And the lymphatic system is only active during the deep sleep. And we know the more we go toward the morning, the less deep sleep we have. And that's why you will have some people going to bed around 2 a.m. They get 10 hours of sleep, but when you ask them how they're feeling, they will tell you, I feel tired. Why? Because the lymphatic system was not active enough to make their body recover, to restore their hormone, and to detox the brain.
Obesity and metabolic syndrome is leading to higher conversion to estrogen in both men and women. It's literally a spiral that's bringing us down.
Because muscle mass is a buffer for immunity and hormones. And that's why I'm big on building muscle strength for men and women, including my 70-year-old mother. And by the way, even perimenopausal woman has some degree of sarcopenia, which is the pathological loss of muscle mass.
So unless you live on an island, grow everything yourself, raise animals on pasture, drink crystal clean water, make sure no plane is flying above your head, and never put anything on your skin that you will not eat, then you have heavy metal intoxication. You have androgen disruptors in your body and low hormones. And you need to proactively optimize your biology. If you can't leave it to your government nor your doctor. Remember, it's not if you're intoxicated, but more how much you're intoxicated. You might be thinking, okay, Noah, this makes sense, but I'm not sure I want to take hormones because I heard they are dangerous and nasty and not natural. And that's a fair concern, which is exactly why I need to clear up scientifically a few very dangerous misconceptions and assumptions that are holding you back. One of my biggest mistakes was waiting 9 years before starting my mother on bioidentical hormones and peptides. Why? Because I was brainwashed by big pharma and conventional medicine ignorance. The delay cost her precious time, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. It's unnecessary and not needed. Here is the truth. The earlier you start, the more you slow down aging and protect your body from irreversible, I repeat, irreversible long-term damage. Because yes, there is a completely natural, bioidentical, safe way to rebalance your hormones. Look here at Jennifer Lopez, Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama, Angelina Jolie, Kate Winslet, and this is not only for the rich or famous. At our clinic, we've seen it work firsthand.
And I have noticed in the last probably 4 or 5 days that I'm feeling way better, and I don't feel like I'm dragging my ass through the day. Like I feel good getting through to the end of the day. So I just kind of powered through it, and I feel like if it was that I've come through it and it's working now. So
it's way better. Like I can see like all this hair. Like right now I have extensions in, but I have all this hair growing in, and I have it more in the back. My hairdresser told me my nails are growing like crazy. They're not like split in, they're real thick.
We are not here to tell you to eat less and move more, like every other genetic coach. It's not if you have to restore your hormones, but more how fast you must do it. With or without me. This isn't a should, it's a must. What has worked in your 20s and 30s does not work anymore on your 40s. And our program is built specifically for women over 40s, over 50s, over 60s, using real science, bioidentical hormones and peptides to have fast results while It's easy, but most important, you want the change to be lasting by combining natural, holistic remedies with medical evidence-based science, all tailored to your biology, because no one size fits all or outdated advice. If this resonates and you're ready to feel like yourself again, just click the first link below in the description. I would love to help you get there. Now back to these hormone misconceptions. Myth number 1, menopause is natural, so we should not interfere with it. Yes, menopause is natural. So is dying at 60, so is gaining weight, losing your hair, your libido, your bone density, your strength, and your spirit. We use technology to enhance life in every area. This is no different. Hormone production has already started to stop when you enter perimenopause. We're simply replacing what's gone. What's not natural is a 45-year-old woman having the hormone levels of an 80-year-old because of her environmental toxicity. What's not natural is accepting unnecessary suffering when safe, effective treatment exists. Bioidentical hormone therapy restores your natural hormone environment, the one that you were designed to have throughout your whole life. Let me share what peer-reviewed research actually demonstrates about bioidentical hormone therapy for women. Cardiovascular protection. The Danish nurse study following over 1 million women for 10 years found a 50% lower heart disease risk in women using hormone therapy initiated within 10 years of menopause. 10 years of menopause. Bone health. Hormone therapy reduced hip fracture risk by 70% and vertebral fracture risk by 65%. Estrogen is the primary regulator of bone metabolism in women. Cognitive function. Multiple studies show hormone therapy initiated during perimenopause protects against cognitive decline and reduces dementia risk by 40%. Hair and skin. Estrogen increase hair follicles diameter by 15% and extends the growth phase and collagen production, increased by 30% with good estrogen levels. Overall, women using hormone therapy have a 30% lower all-cause mortality when treatment is initiated before the age of 60, something that I didn't do with my mother, unfortunately. Regarding saying natural, if you're taking any supplements like magnesium, like omega-3, like vitamin C, those are not natural either. They are bioidentical, just like hormones and peptides, but they're not natural. Supplements are drugs. Why? Because there is no tree, nor a plant, nor an animal where you can pick up the supplements from. They are man-made, they are synthesized in a lab, and yes, too much zinc can cause kidney failure and you can end up in the hospital. Same for vitamin B, but same apply for too little. Too little magnesium will leave you lethargic, and the devil is always in the dosage. That's why you have to do it based on blood tests.
The biggest myth you will hear when it comes to hormone replacement therapy in women is that hormone causes breast cancer. Even if you look back to the WHI study, in the group that took synthetic estrogen alone, the risk of breast cancer was less. It's only when we added the progestin, which is the synthetic progesterone, that the risk of breast cancer went up. So yes, hormone can cause breast cancer when it comes to synthetic progesterone. But when it comes to bioidentical hormones, until now we have zero study showing that bioidentical hormone cause breast cancer. On the contrary, we have studies showing that we are using bioidentical hormones such as testosterone to treat breast cancer.
Myth number 3. Hormone cause dangerous blood clots. Look, blood clot risk comes from oral synthetic estrogen. Synthetic estrogens that create inflammatory byproduct as they pass to the liver. Bioidentical estradiol carries no increase in clot risk. The ESTER study and multiple trials confirm the safety profile because we're comparing the safety of spring water to bleach water. They're completely different substances with completely different risk profiles. Myth number 4. You become dependent and can never ever stop. You can discontinue hormone therapy at any time. The difference is that most women choose not to because they experience such dramatic improvements in quality of life.
When we talk about menopause symptoms, a lot of women are only familiar with the most common physical symptoms they hear about, such as night sweat, mood swings, hot flashes, vaginal dryness, low libido. But menopause is way more than that. When you hit menopause, you lose your skin elasticity by 50% every year. Menopause increases your risk of any chronic disease from heart disease, diabetes, cancer by 30 to 50%. Menopause decreases your bone density because of the absence of hormone. Menopause also makes you lose your hair. Menopause also makes you more at risk to develop dementia, Alzheimer, or even depression.
Will you stop your sauna sessions, your massages, your magnesium supplements? When your hair regrows, your energy returns, your mood stabilizes, and you feel like yourself again, why would you go back to suffering? This is medical treatment for hormone deficiency, not recreational drug use.
And these symptoms are all early signals of your body screaming help. Because diseases doesn't show up overnight. You see, there are 7 stages of diseases. Stage 7 is cancer, autoimmune diseases, and neurodegenerative diseases, and other nasty diseases. This is what we call the fungating stage. Stage 1 is what we call enervation, and it's starts in the gut and the hormones. And that's why some gut and hormonal symptoms can be irreversible if you wait too long. And that's why we also focus on hormones, gut health, and heavy metal detoxification. Many people call the gut the second brain. It's actually your first brain. Did you know that there are 400 times more melatonin receptors in your gut than in your brain? That means that if you want to optimize your sleep, optimize your gut. Serotonin, 92% of it is created in the gut. So if you feel anxiety, if you have a depression, if you have any types of mental unoptimized energy, it's usually the gut. You optimize your gut, you optimize your serotonin, and you optimize your energy in your brain. Even Mother Nature put it as a hierarchy, most importance, the gut. Why? Because when you look at an embryo, the first thing that you see is the development of the gut, then the brain, and then the heart. And we also focus on heavy metals. Why? Because they change the structure of receptors, so they become less sensitive to supplements and to hormones. Thyroid, number 1 gland that absorbs heavy metals, and many diseases comes from that. If you have brain fog, especially if you feel tired, it's usually a cadmium or mercury toxicity. Neuroplasticity get affected by heavy metals, infertility by heavy metals, anxiety, depression, and even suicides come from heavy metals, especially mercury. So now we know all these problems. Does this mean this is the beginning of the end, or can you actually do something about it and reverse them? So let's dive into a proven system that our medical team with 160 years of medical experience compounded, created, and already helped thousands of women over 40 reclaim their energy, their sleep, their bone density, their skin, their quality of life, their brain, their sexuality, and some of them even saving their marriage. So, pillar number 1, nutrition, lifestyle, and guided supplementation. Based on blood work, not guesswork. This is the foundation. And if your foundation is not strong, nothing else will work. If you sleep is not dialed in, if you're eating a hormone-disrupting diet, if you're still consuming food high in heavy metals and microplastic, then all the biohacking, peptides, and hormones and stem cells of the world will not help you. The problem is most people don't even know what healthy living means, and they make it so complicated they don't even start because they think it's so difficult to do it. So we debunk that in a simple and scientific way. Our goal is not to create the perfect protocol. Our goal is to create a protocol that you actually will follow. A protocol based on science and data. No guesswork. The medical team will go deep to diagnose the issue and then create a personalized protocol for you that include custom-made meal plans and recipes, a workout schedule, and lifestyle guidance. And I say a medical team because there is not one doctor who knows everything. That's a lie. Pillar number 2, medical guidance. And this is the core of our VIP optimization program, where it includes bioidentical hormone replacement therapy that are biorhythmic to your own body production, blood levels. We test also receptors. We also test your receptor sensitivities because you might need more or less to have optimal results than your neighbor or your sister. We all are different with different biology, and we create a custom protocol for you. And then add peptide therapy. The peptide therapy boosts your healing effect, boost your fat loss, boost your brain function, boost what you have lost in the last decades. And it's based on 3 things: your blood work, your symptoms, and your goal. And solving the symptoms and the root cause parallel to each other, we focus on both. We focus also on gut health restoration because it also direct impact on the hormones. And we do a continuous, gently heavy metal detoxification, removing endocrine disruptors. Pillar number 3, accountability, because otherwise life happens. You don't need motivation or you'll be watching this video. Once you start, you need accountability and you keep guidance. Why? Because most doctors give you a prescription and tell you to call them in 6 months. Now, by now, you understand what means receptor sensitivity. You understand we are all different, and some women need a certain dosage, and other women need half of that dose or double of that dose because of the different sensitivity of their receptors. And you cannot wait for 3, 4, 5, 6 months before you change it. You need to upgrade it within the first 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And during these crucial beginning of the weeks, you want to be able to communicate with a medical team, with a coordinator, with an assistant who can tell you, hey, how are you? And are you feeling okay with the protocol or not? And our medical team lives this lifestyle. And you need more than a doctor. You need a medical guide. because the first 90 days are critical. And that's why you will also get a medical coordinator available 24/7 for you to answer any questions, right? We also added a mastermind call once a week with our medical team to educate you on what it really means to be healthy, what it really means to have high energy, and most of the time to remind you on what you already know. And each week we dive deep on a subject, from skincare to heavy metals to hormones to gut health to brain energy to sexual energy to parasites to molds. And we add also a program director who answer questions about supplements, about nutrition, about sleep, about training, about food, about meal plans, because we all need a little bit of guidance and coaching and TLC. Without them, life has a funny way taking over. So this isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. It's a personalized medical system designed to give you, your body, exactly what is being missing. So now you have two choices. Option one, keep saying I'm fine and wake up a year from now with less energy, worse sleep, more weight, and more frustration. Option number two, you take control of what was stolen from you and finally be alive again. And if you make the right choice, you can completely change your life, just like the thousands of women before you. Every day you delay is another day you lose clarity, strength, connection, vitality. So if you're ready to actually take action, click the first link in the description to get started. Now that you know how to fix your hormones, your best years are just getting started.